So I got mugged once. Okay, so story time. This is what happened. I was in a bad part of town, a major city, bad part of town, on business more or less. I was in a pizza place, and there was this guy at the counter that was like, "Hey man, what are you doing here, man? You should get out of here. Like, do you have a ride or something? Can I call someone for you?" And this dude was like, seriously concerned. But I brushed it off. I was like, "Nah, man, I'll be fine." And I've been in that part of town before, but not this particular street, particular block, things like that. I walk out. I walk past two guys. A guy starts following me, and he catches up, and he starts to talk to me, and he asks me if I know someone named Claire, and I don't know anyone named Claire, and there's no way this guy knows me at all, and no way that we have anyone in common because I've never been to this part of town before. And I think he's doing this to get my guard down in retrospect. He grabs onto my suit. Like I said, I was on business. He gets a really, really, really good grip. And this guy's kind of strong. He's pretty jacked, actually. He's shorter than me, but he's definitely jacked. And I try to get him off by kind of doing one of these spin things so he loses his grip. But he's just not having it. He's got such a good grip that he's just not letting go. There's this guy behind us yelling from a distance, kind of dividing my attention. And when I'm able to tune on him for a second, if this guy is yelling, I think he's kind of like a hype man for the other guy. He's yelling, "Ooh, this guy's gonna F you up. This guy's gonna F you up." I think he said the whole word, though. And at the time, I was almost thinking, genuinely that I was almost sure this guy was talking about me to the other guy rather than to me about the other guy. So I wasn't really sure what was going on. This guy, he was the guy that had a grip on me. He was wearing nothing but basketball shorts and a wife beater. And I could deduce that that's all he had. So I didn't think he had a weapon on him or anything, but he had a really good grip on me, and he was now asking for money. And I maintained my confidence. I was very curt, very rude. Did not show any sign of fear. But nevertheless, it was a situation that alone wasn't going to get me out of. So, while all that's going on, what ends up happening is, I have an umbrella on me, and I try to poke and prod him a little bit with that. But it doesn't really help because it's too close quarters, and he grabs it. It's easy for him to grab, and then it's useless. So, two options from here. I used to carry a knife on me, and then at one point I lost the knife, and so I never ended up replacing it. I stopped carrying it on me. So two options from here. Do I have the knife at this point, or do I not? Well, this is a point when I don't have the knife. Let's say I do have the knife. Best thing that could have happened is I brandish the knife and successfully stab a guy. And then I have to deal with the aftermath of having stabbed a guy, either from a moral perspective or a legal perspective, or both. It would have eaten up at least the rest of my day, if not somehow turned into a legal issue that I would have had to deal with for months on hand. Now, what actually happened is I don't have the knife. Although I've got more money in my wallet, maybe just like $10 to $20 or something, I reach into my pocket and give this guy literally 75 cents. And that's enough for him to let go and leave me alone. And after he gets a fair distance away, I think I might have booked it. And I'm better safe than sorry, honestly. But yeah, so he ended up going away for 75 cents. Gave him a little bit of what he wanted. So he kind of disengaged psychologically. Now, would I rather have stabbed a guy or given him 75 cents? I think I'm going to go with the 75 cents. And this doesn't even cover the worst case scenario, in which I brandish a knife and he somehow gets it off me and then I'm the one that gets stabbed. This is really why I bring this up. It's situations where you think having a knife or furthermore a gun would be fantastic, but it's not necessarily. And I mean, every situation is different, but I think a lot of people bring up situations kind of on a theoretical basis and be like, oh man, it would have been better if someone had a gun here, better if someone had a gun there. No, not sure about that. I'm just not sure about that. Based on experience. I mean, and you can look at statistics too. Like, if you have a gun in your house, you're more likely to commit suicide with it. Not you're more likely to use that as the instrument for suicide, but you are literally more likely to commit the act of suicide, I think 30 times, by simply having it there. You're much more likely to injure or kill someone in your house with that gun than you are an intruder. And it's more likely that a toddler in the house will get a hold of that gun and kill you with it than it is for you to be killed by a terrorist. It's also more likely for you to get struck by lightning and many other events. So in terms of defense, it's just not, it doesn't totally add up. Now here's the thing, I'm not anti-gun, and if you want to buy a gun, like, go ahead, but you can't ignore those statistics. I mean, they're just true. There's nothing you can do about that. And that's just some insight that I'd like to put out there as a follow-up to my last video on the same subject. So think about it.